Another showdown is brewing between Texas and the federal government, this time over the Adam Walsh Act, which creates a national sex offender registry. Now, the state argues it has a better registry already in place, and the federal mandates would cost Texas $38 million it doesn't have.
Joining us live this morning to talk more about this, State Senator Glenn Hagar of Katy and children's rights activist Dr. Robert Sanborn. Senator Hagar, I guess we'll go first to you to see which side of the argument you're on in this.
Well, essentially, the bottom line is Texas, we have a very strong system here in place where we do not want violent criminals. We do not want sex offenders, any shape, form, or fashion, getting around children. And our process is based on risk where the feds want us to change the process. And really what I don't want to do is make sure that we're putting Texans in an unsafer position.
Dr. Sanborn, based on what you know, does the Texas registry cover the protections for children well enough, or does it need to go to the Adam Walsh version?
Well, I think what the Adam Walsh Act is trying to do is really trying to give us a more comprehensive coverage to really allow law enforcement to do an even better job. We have a very large database, as Senator Hagar mentioned, here in the state of Texas, but we live in a national economy. We don't live in a state economy. And the idea of joining this national database allows us to really track offenders that are moving in from out of state, from other locales, so that we have a really a better view to really protect every single child. And law enforcement is in favor of this, and it is more money. I mean, I think that's the key thing, is that we're at a time when there is a budget crisis, but when it comes to our children, we want to make sure that we give them the very best protection, and I think that's what the Adam Walsh Act does for us here in Texas.
Senator Hagar, have you taken into consideration the idea that people may move in from Louisiana or Oklahoma or any of the other states surrounding us as a way of avoiding what goes on here in Texas?
No, absolutely. We do not want people getting around Texas law by going across the Louisiana border and living just literally 3 miles from their current residence by going across the border, nor do we want someone from another state coming over here and getting around the registration. But what I do not want to have is a database that is so large, so massive, that if someone looks at it, they treat someone who was a minor and may get registered as a sex offender, yet at the same time, they're treating that person as the same level of a very dangerous, violent criminal that predates on children. You can't lump everybody into one group. People have to be able to identify who are the very dangerous sex offenders and not lump them in with someone who just happened to get caught up because they were a minor.
Very interesting discussion. Thanks very much. That would be Senator Glenn Hagar of Katy and children's rights activist Dr. Robert Sanborn.